Professor Ashok, thank you very much. So, welcome to the platform of the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Merit. And now let me tell that why we have planned this type of the panel discussion. You all are aware that the NEP 2020 has been introduced. Now, in NEP 2020, a great emphasis has been given that the industries and universities should collaborate. Skill development program. Without the skill development program, we cannot achieve the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And we have seen that the many of the students, when they get the graduation, they are not ready to work in the industries. So the Shobhit University has taken a lead that let us have a one-to-one interaction with the universities and the academia, and let us try that what the industries need, what the universities need, what type of the interaction we need, how we should collaborate together so that we can produce the best graduates in the world who are ready to be employed in the industry, who can contribute much and much more towards the growth and development of the country. And I welcome an international scientist from Germany, Guido Kill. He's a CEO from the Electric One company, and this has given a wonderful platform for all of us to have the system, because I have been in Germany also for almost 3-4 years, and I have seen that their system of the interaction with the industries and the universities is wonderful. So we will be having the platform that we will have the idea that how the Western countries are interacting and how what we need, what Indian universities in fact need, and how we can interact. So that is the idea behind all these things. So the first, how we have planned that initially we will give 3 to 5 minutes to every speaker, one academician, one industry, one academician, one industry, so that you can focus on that what type of the difficulties we are facing for the academic and industrial interaction. So before starting this panel discussion, I would like to request Honorable the Chancellor of Shobhit University, Kumar Shekhar Vigenji, to give the few insights about that why we have planned, and he is the chairman of the ASSOCHAM also. So I would like to request today to chair this session as the chairman of the ASSOCHAM, because we want to emphasize that whatever we will decide today, we would like to pursue this from Honorable Chancellor of the University and the Chairman of the ASSOCHAM to put it before the government and to place our ideas. And tomorrow we are having a interaction. I have come to know that you have invited the Honorable Governor of UP on a platform. So I would like to request on behalf of the panel that whatever the recommendations are made, please try to emphasize that upon the Honorable Chancellor. In the first session also, it was wonderful session, sir. For 2 hours, we have made certain recommendations that I will share with you. So I request the Honorable Chancellor and the Chairman of the ASSOCHAM to give the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Professor Garg. It is indeed a pleasure to be with all of you. And in this panel, we have some wonderful young entrepreneurs also. Mr. Amit Das, thank you for joining, Amit. It's indeed a pleasure to have you with us. And the same time, we have Mr. Vipinder Singh, who is not only a wonderful entrepreneur, but our proud alumnus too. So thank you, Vipin, for sparing time and joining us from Bangalore.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. As we have a wonderful panel of senior academicians with us and people from industry, different industry, having a representation from Germany also, which is known for research, especially with academia. As Professor Garg was mentioning, that today, after National Education Policy 2020 was declared, we all are talking about that how to integrate academia and industry, how to bridge this gap. While bridging this gap, there are many ways. One is that in academia, we should integrate industrial know-how. And two is that industry-oriented research should be more, enhanced in the universities. Actually, when we talk about research, there are three types of research what is happening, and this confusion is there. And I'm sure that these two wonderful sessions, what we had in the forenoon and this session, will give a better idea to universities, to academia, to understand that what actually we have to do, what we can do together. Many times when we talk about industrial research cannot happen in academia. That we have to understand. This is what I feel personally. Yes, industry-oriented research can be there. Because what we are doing academic research. Because the purpose of all three types of research is different. When we talk about industrial research is done for purpose. Okay. Admin, I will request to just see that. Okay, fine. So industrial research is happening in industry with a specific task, but academic research is happening when we are talking about creating new knowledge. And industry-oriented research can be when there are certain challenges in the industry which need to be addressed. Some new knowledge has to be there, some new innovation has to be there, and then they come back to the universities. Mr. Quill, you are there from Germany. I remember that during one of my visits to Germany, I had an opportunity to visit Stuttgart. Mm-hmm. And Stuttgart is known for automobile and all those things. So during my visit to some of the companies, then I decided I should visit one of the university over there. Mm-hmm. So a small university, Esslingen University of Applied Sciences, if I'm not wrong, I had an opportunity to visit that university also. And when I was visiting that university, I found that in every lab, in every workshop, some research was happening which was meant for the automobile industry. And what was the reason? Because I was trying to understand that thing. The reason was if there was any challenge during the manufacturing, during the designing of a product, even after installing the product, the industry was coming to the university. It means the R&D unit of the industry practically was in the university. Every time they were coming, and a very close-knit relation I found, which was happening there. Generally in India, what is happening, that we have our labs where academic research we are doing. We are working on creating new knowledge. We are working on having more research papers. But if those research papers are industry oriented or not, that we have to look into and address them. And why it is happening? Because India is a country of medium and small scale industries. Like if I look at Meerut, where Shobhit University is located, it is a hub of industry. R&D is not happening much there. Now the question is how we can come together, how we can give a confidence to them, if whatever research you want, whatever innovation you want, whatever challenges you have, you come to us back. At Shobhit University, we have developed one SEIZ for the same. This is like in India, we have a SEZ and special economic zones. The same way it is SEIZ. This is a skill entrepreneurship innovation zone. And what we are doing, we are inviting industry. We are telling them, come with your problems to us, use our laboratories, let us develop joint laboratories, let us do that research which is relevant not only for your industry, but for many other such industries of your nature. As Professor Garg was emphasizing on my being the chairman of National Council on Education with ASSOCHAM, and ASSOCHAM being the oldest apex chamber of industry, having 450,000 plus industrial member with us. When I am talking on different platforms, when I am talking with SHM colleagues of mine, every time the challenge is this, that the relationship between academia and industry is not organic in nature. It is just a forced relation where we say, okay, if I'm going to industry, it means I'm going either for the placement of my boys or asking for some favor from them. If industry is coming to me, generally they are coming to sell some product to me, especially at tech companies, if I look at. This relationship has to be organic. And this relationship can be organic when we all will sit together, think together, work together. Because this collaboration is the only way for sustainable, inclusive prosperity of the nation. And Germany has proved that. I'm mentioning Germany because we have a panelist from Germany. That's why I'm mentioning Germany, how many other countries are doing so. But I know that with Germany, we can do a lot of things, a lot can happen. Tomorrow, we are having in Delhi, our National Education Summit of SOCHM, where we have invited the governor of Uttar Pradesh. She will be with us as chief guest. And a lot of representation from academia and industry will be there. Like Chairman UGC will be with us, Chairman AICT will be with us, AIU Member Secretary will be with us. From Pan India members, my colleagues like chancellors, promoters, vice chancellors, a lot of edtech companies will be there with us. And there also our complete focus is that how this integration of academia and industry can happen, and how in universities, industry-oriented research can be initiated, enhanced, and inculcated in our course curriculum. Sometimes we feel that in the light of new education policy, we can do everything. Today only I was reading in newspapers, there was a news that UGC has approved a 8 to 10 weeks internship, mandatory internship for undergrads. But I found when I was going in the details, they said it should be a research internship. Research, the word research, it fascinates us. But I was forced to write in the morning itself to the chairman UGC that many of our programs, we cannot have research-centric, neither organizations are there where every undergrad student can go for such internship, nor it may be very relevant for everybody. For some, yes, it will be, but for everybody, it cannot be. A student of history, if even he goes for a research-centric internship, it may not be very helpful for him. So it means we have to look into a very holistic way. And this is what exactly we are trying to find some solutions. I will appreciate from Professor Garg, from Professor Jain and our Pro-Vice Chancellor, and all of you, if you could share what you will be deliberating today, discussing today, if you could share some points so that we can develop a white paper, we can discuss with our colleagues in the industry, we can discuss with the policymakers, regulators, and facilitators in academia to make this vision that every university should have a unit, a possibility of industry-oriented research also, and every student, even before going to the industry, must be aware what that industry may need and expect from them. That will be very helpful. Thank you very much for having me with you in the inaugural session itself. And I'm looking forward to listen to everybody and understand and implement some of the recommendations in Shobhit University. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Let me tell you, sir, in the morning session, the panelists, they have made certain points highlight. The one thing that the university should have mandatory minimum 1 semester internship, and the internship interaction with the industry should be started from the very beginning. And Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, it is having the 1 semester from the very beginning. Maybe that now the pupil, they were of the opinion that if it can be for the 2 semesters, that the complete 1 year in a course which is having the 4-year course, that will be, and in a 3-year course, then at minimum 1 semester, and even in the 2-year course, there should be minimum 10 to 12 weeks. So that it should be. And the second thing, the panelists they were of the opinion that the industry and the university professors should sit together at least once a month, so that they can, and they should develop a trust, and they should share their problems. The industry should come with the problem to the university, and the university should suggest the solutions. And there are several things which are very common for the university and industries, and because the universities can provide the ready-made solutions, many of the research, they are lying in the logs of the professors. Solutions are lying, they are not sharing with the industries. So in the morning session, we have already made a one suggestion that the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology is going to publicize all the research projects what we are doing, what on which we are working. So the next week I will be putting everything on our website that on what we are doing, so that the interaction program can continue. So without wasting much time, so now I would like to invite first of all Mr. Guido Kill. That can you please share that what, because you are having an experience of the German universities, German industry, and now the Indian university and Indian industry both. So it will be, you can compare and you can tell that how what in fact you find, what are our shortcomings, why we are not coming to the expectation of the industries, what the industry should expect, and how we should collaborate. So, Mr. Guido, please.
Thank you, Mr. Garg.
Yeah.
Mr. Kanzler, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. I would like to start with my age, 55. My father was a teacher. Since more than 30 years, I'm traveling around the world. And yes, since 8 years, I'm coming to India with my heart, because I love the Indian culture, the Indian people, the Indian mentality. In between, I was head of technology transfer to a Chinese smart city for almost 3 years. I have connect to Fraunhofer, Helmholtz, all the big institutes in Germany, to the universities also. I'm an entrepreneur, and finally, that is very nice to me also, I'm doing my PhD at Shobhit University in especially this kind of case, because when I visited the first time 8 years ago, I was a speaker in front of more than 1,000 students, and it was fantastic. I could feel the power of the Indian people, but I also could see some gap of transformation knowledge of how the students should prepare for the next step to get in the industry. I could see and I could feel it immediately, because every student was big eyes, but what comes next? So it's a big task. And believe me, once I'm coming back to India, of course, I will visit my university. And the first step I would like to start to form a couple of students, the best ones, males and females. And these couple of a group of, let's say, 10 students, they will join my life, join my experiences, not only in Germany, also, of course, this is most important, how we run electric mobility company in India, so that they get really hands-on experiences. And what should become next? Next should be that one of our specialists will join the university, my program, because to be very honest and frank to you, what I have seen in India is that most of the universities will just put some logo of some brand, of some company, Microsoft or this or this or this or this. Then they feel they are lucky because it's a big marketing happening. Because every university, every college is starting some fight against each other to get the most of the students. But this is not how it should run. It should more focused on quality. I know India is a quantity country, but we have also a look on quality. What kind of knowledge the student should expect coming to your university? What is the sustainable targets? How will he implement in the industry? So in Germany, as the Chancellor already told you, the combination of university and industry is worldwide the best, close to the US or Japan. But the combination of the industry is very well connected to all the universities, because they know they are our new employees and they're running some concept, some structuring, how to work. This is also most important. It's not only the case, I know a subject of technology, I have to learn how to implement in some industry format, because industry means I have to produce something, a good, a service, whatever, that it will be used from a lot of people in India and in the world. Because now I'm coming to you, which is also very important. We know all there is some fight in this world now. And now, especially the Western part will go away also from China. And this is the most important time for India to be placed in the market, in the world market. And this is your opportunity to show the world industry, the Europeans, US, whatever, that you are prepared for this moment. You have to prepare that more companies going back from China, and it's happening already, right? Even Apple is moving to India already. So let's initiate this as a big happening. Not blaming, no, this is not, we don't want to blame, we want to prepare for this. It's historical, it can be historical, because India is democratic, India is 1.4 billion people, a huge growth in front of you, but you have to make your homework. And I'm sure you are all connected with some German universities. There might be some program. So my advice to you, let's find a basement where we can start, because every university, every one of you have some own ideas, for sure. Every region of India is quite different. North is different than south, and so on. So, but the basement, the base knowledge, how you should go forward, that should be the same. And that is not the same as of now in India, what I could see and feel. So my advice is, invite even some startups. That can be also a very good idea. Invite some startups to your university and talk together, come together and say, what can we do for you? What can we provide you 10 students? Maybe for social media. Can they run social media for you? Because we have 20,000 students. That will help your business growing. Why not? It should be a win-win situation.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Guido. Thank you very much. You have rightly pointed out that we should form a small group of the students, and this small group of the students should interact with the university in the industry, and a specialist from the industry should come to the university so that the interactive program can be started. Very nice suggestion. Wonderful. Now I request Professor Arun Pandey that how we can integrate Professor Pandey. He's the Vice Chancellor from the Mansarovar Global University, having almost 50 years of the experience in teaching and research. Wonderful researcher and wonderful administrator, policy maker. He has been associated with several universities also for the planning. So how you visualize that, how we can plan such type of the system that there is a certain number of the students, and how we will integrate it in the coursework? Professor Pandey.
Thank you, Professor Garg. At the outset, I congratulate the organizers for conceiving the idea of having a panel discussion on a very relevant topic, because when we are talking of universities on one hand and industry on the other, definitely, as Dr. Quill has mentioned, that there is a gap somewhere, because in Indian universities, we know, with my more than 40 years experience, it is there that most of the universities are traditional universities where basic research is being done, and there is not much collaboration with the industry, excepting some departments. So it is very, very important that, keeping in view the national education policy, which has been formulated to bring or revolutionize the education system in India, and there is a focus that the universities should collaborate with the industry. And in that way, in my opinion, the universities should first change their syllabi. The syllabus should be formulated, or it should be done in such a way that the topics which are included in different subjects that is related to the industry, and in that way we should nominate some persons in board of studies where syllabus is being formulated. And second thing, I would like that the more and more industry join departments as either adjunct faculty or as guest faculty, so that they can discuss and interact with the students. Of course, we know in the universities where technological or the engineering departments are there, definitely they have more interaction with the industry. But in traditional universities, there is not much interaction. And therefore, I think syllabus is also recently, keeping in view of the NEP 2020 many universities that have been changed or revised, but not much component of in the revised syllabus is from the industry. So this is one part where we have to collaborate with the industry, because multidisciplinary research is to be done. That is one part. And second, as far as NEP is concerned, we know that those students who are going for a 4-year degree program, the component of research is already included. So in 4th year, what will happen, that the students will go for internship in somewhere, in some industry. In the colleges and universities, there are no facilities as such. For, of course, certain universities are there where excellent facilities are available, but I am talking in general that those students who have opted for research in fourth year, definitely they need more and more time and more exposure to the industry. So that is one thing which is important. And secondly, in NEP 2020, a lot of fund has been allocated for research. So it is praiseworthy that government has already thought about that. Why not money should be allocated, and the educational institutions, whether it is university or college or industry, whosoever is there, they can submit their proposal, and of course, if the proposals are reviewed and if they are found good, then they will be funded. Now, what should be the priority of research? That is one more thing, because on one hand, we are talking of the different programs, the space programs, or even in our defense and other areas. But when we have seen that during COVID, there was a lot of scarcity and problem of the even oxygen or the ventilators, and all those items were there. So we have to focus today as far as industry and the universities are concerned. The side or healthcare system should be there. And secondly, since climate change is there, we are much worried about the climate change, and therefore the development of the crops, that is important, because if there is the temperature goes, it is high, and then our present crops, they may not give better yield. So we have to develop crops, and in that agricultural biotechnology, breeding programs, all those aspects are very, very important. Third thing, India is rich in biodiversity. So we have to conserve our biodiversity. We know that because of the human activities, biodiversity or even forested areas, there is a lot of deforestation going on, and also the medicinal plants. During COVID, we know that a number of medicinal plants were in great demand, but most of the herbal products are coming from forested areas. So why not to grow them? Instead of over exploitation or over harvesting, it would be good that we should cultivate on one hand and reintroduce medicinally important plants, either by raising plants through traditional methods or through tissue culture methods to the natural habitats. We have done in case of the Malexis acuminata and Phytosporum, we have raised a large number of plants and introduced in the Uttarakhand region. That was a program sponsored by Department of Biotechnology. So this is one aspect. Second aspect is PhD. You know, a large number of PhDs are being produced throughout from the different universities. So there are many societal problems. We have problems of clean drinking water, or we have sanitation, or many issues are there. So we have to think that our PhD problems, which we are giving to the students, that should be industry oriented, number one. Local problems should be kept in mind. If we are sitting in central India, we should see the problems of central India. If we are in the Himalayan region, we should think that the problem should be of the Himalayan region. So that is one thing that PhD program should be in that way, and selection of topic should be industry oriented. And one more thing I'm much worried about, that the publications coming out from by the researchers, there are a large number of predatory journals, and the quality of research being published in those journals, they are paid journals, I must say. We have to think that the researchers should go only for the well-recognized journals or high-tech journals, rather than going for predatory journals. So there are many things which, like for Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have to think which problems are there, and we should provide such topic to the research scholars that they should work on those areas, and they should visit the industry. Even nowadays, pharma industry is growing. After COVID, we all know that the vaccine production, or even a large number of other medicines they are in great demand. Also, the bioinformatics or data analysis, or even as far as biotechnology is concerned, microbial biotechnology, or even the indigenous knowledge. I'm just finishing into that. So these are some of the gap areas or priority areas, I must say. In India, we should have to prioritize research and keeping in mind the collaboration with the industry. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you, Professor Pandey. Thank you, Professor Arun. In the first session also, there was a great emphasis on this, that the industries and the universities should sit together. Industries should share their problems, where the problems they have, and these problems should be given to the research students, and the supervisors from the industry should also be associated in the research, so that the Indian universities and the industries interaction can be strengthened. You have highlighted it. Very good. Thank you very much, Professor Arun. Now we are having Vice President of the Technical and Veterinary Regulatory Industry, Indus Pharmaceutical, Dr. Nitin Bhatia. He is having a vast experience and vast exposure and vast interaction. So, Professor Dr. Bhatia, we would like to know that how the industries can collaborate easily and practically, I will say, easily and practically with the Indian universities education system under the NEP 2020. Dr. Bhatia, what you visualize, what you expect, what the industry expect from the universities?
Right, sir. Thank you to Dr. Amar Garg and the entire organizing team for giving us a chance to be with you. I understand, and I had that discussion with Dr. Garg also, that we are not from the engineering sector. We are from the animal husbandry sector, but still NEP policy applies to us also. And so we said, yes, we should be interacting because engineering applies everywhere and does apply in our sector also.
No, Dr. Bhatia, you know that now more than 30% of the part in the GDP, it is from the animal husbandry sector.
Yes, sir.
So you don't underestimate.
No, we are not underestimating. The public underestimates us. But
the animal husbandry, veterinary science, it has been given a lot of emphasis. And now the Indian university syllabus, NEP 2020 also says it. Atmanirbhar Bharat, when we have to become, then we have to focus on everywhere, not
Right.
only the engineering.
No, we are fully focused on our sector, and it is a public which underestimates us. But yes, we are there. We are always there. Coming to the NEP policy, the industry is pro it. The only thing that industry looks at is that industry should be attached to children or students or postgraduates who are interested to come to industry. Yeah. And they should work. Today, what we find is primarily the college and the academia trains them to become a good academician or to train them as a professional. But they are not given any training for the industry part. We find people coming to us very fresh, looking very blank as far as what does the industry do. So in case the NEP policy comes up to that level and in the right direction, I think the student should be given a 1-year exposure of the industry so that he knows what is the industry, what does the industry expect from him, so that he's prepared for it before he becomes a degree holder. I think that is the one prime thing which the industry will also be very happy to have NEB. So that once we are interviewing a person, he is well aware, or we are not interviewing, we know that he has worked with us for 1 year. We know he has already gelled with us, taken our dress, and can become a good employee of the company and knows the objectives of the industry. So that interaction is very important for people who want to join the industry. And probably 10 to 12% of the people today also join the industry, but they joined very blank. So this will give an opportunity for them to get exposed to it prior, as well as to become a better professional themselves. Second point, yes. So please.
Okay, there is one question from the audience.
Yes, sir.
What you suggest should there not be a system that the industry people should come to the universities to give some part of the skill training in the first, second year for 1 week or something like that? There is a question from the audience. Large number of audience have joined this platform, and they are now putting the questions. So I will be interrupting in between and will be putting these questions, because until and unless we address the question of the audience, then we will not be fair enough in this discussion. So there is a question for you, Dr. Vijay Matija.
Yes, sir. I fully agree with it.
Yes.
I fully agree with it. Say we are looking at 4-year course or a 5-year course or whatever year. Final year has to be the time when he should be exposed to the industry fully, for which a preliminary exposure between the industry and the student has to happen by second year. So industry has to be tuned to that also. So industry has to be a frequent visitor. Industry has to understand the academia and the teaching and the student requirements, and has to work on that direction so that he gets a better student for a better industry professional. I fully acknowledge that fact that within at least in the first 30% of the degree point, he should be exposed to the industry, and industry should be exposed to them and should take the decisions forward jointly.
So thank you, Dr. Bhatia. Now I would like to invite Dr. Ajay Mathur. He is from the Pratishtha Industry, Telangana. Dr. Mathur, you are at a very senior position and you are running a wonderful industry. Dr. Mathur, are you there?
Sir, I am there. I am actually from Godrej. Dr.
Yes,
Abhinav.
from Godrej. There is one more person from the Telangana. I think Abhishek. Abhishek is there.
Sir, yes, sir.
I will take you after that. So, Dr. Mathur, we can take you first. That in the real estate industry, you are working in the agriculture and the productivity system. What you expect from the Indian universities? How we should, because you are having a big brand, you are having a big industry, and your expectations from the Indian universities are much bigger, much higher. So what you expect from the universities, Indian universities, to deliver to the industry ready-made graduates? What are your suggestions that what we should do?
Thank you very much, Professor Garg. Actually, I am representing Godrej and Boyce Manufacturing Company here, and we are basically a consumer durable company. And being there as an Indian company for the last 125 years. So I am very thankful to Shobhit University for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this August forum. I was just listening to the speakers and very relevant points they have made. See, I just tell you from the point of view of the industry and whatever we have seen and we have experienced. I've been around for the last 27 years with Godrej. And my experience says that as our panel members have already stated also, that what happens is that whenever we because there is a gap with the industry and the academia. So what happens is that when we get when we induct the employees in our company, they are coming from various institutes, management institutes, engineering institutes. The one basic problem we face is that it takes a bit of time to bring them on board, in the sense that it takes around 6 months to 1 year, and which, if you really ask me from the industry point of view, from a company point of view, it's a big investment actually which the company makes in a person, because actually he comes on board after a year, I would say. So what we were talking about and what Kuvar Shekhar Vijendra Saab was also saying. So it is so important that our entire education system is like this, that when we get employees, when we employ people, they should have that kind of skill set. Wherein whatever industry they are coming in, they understand that how this industry works. So I have some points which I will just panel. And this is one point is that, and in colleges and in universities, we should be, teaching the students accordingly. And second point, which I want to make is that, there should be an understanding of the changing landscapes and adaptability of the students, because things have really changed, after the COVID, and every industry, every organization has to work in a different manner. Systems and processes which are followed in various industries, they are somehow, we see, as Dr. Bhatia was also saying, when we, get people, they are totally blank on that. They have absolutely no idea how the companies work and what the processes are. One point which I think you mentioned about, in the previous forums, it has already been discussed about the internships, which are basically project based. And, the horizon has to be made broader, and people should work with different types of industries during their course, so that wherever they go, they understand that what are the requirements. Another point I want to make is about, the training should be imparted in a way that, we talk about specialization. See, today there are industries, service industry, IT, B2B, B2C, retail, e-com. How do they actually work? Yes, the students have good fundamental knowledge, because we have very learned faculties in all our reputed, universities like Shobhit, wherein, they give them a very good fundamental knowledge. But actually, when they come to the industry, at times, there's a gap and they do not understand. And again, as I said, that it takes a bit of time. Then very important point which you have made is about the industry speakers regularly interacting with students. I would say that not only students, it should, as you mentioned about, the faculty also, because, the faculty is actually grooming them to be a part of the industry tomorrow. So it is so important that, there is an interaction of the industry people with the faculty as well as the students. So the gaps are avoided. Just two more points which I want to make, and one is that, the visit to establishments. What happens is that when we take to students to the industry or to any company, we just confine them to one, or we just confine them to one of the departments, functions, or whatever. The idea should be that we should give them a fair amount of knowledge that how this organization actually works, the organization in which industry it works, and how does it function. And then, as the panel members have already said, the gaps can be definitely bridged, I believe, and there should be very regular, meetings of the industry as well as the academia. So this can be worked out, and I'm very sure that since the new education policy is talking about it, so when the entire education system, the responsibility doesn't lie only with the universities, it also lies equally with the schools. And once the mindset changes from the school, there we will see a better outcome when the students join the universities and the industry. So these are my viewpoints. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur. Thank you very much. You have rightly pointed out that there should be a continuous and constant interaction with the faculty also. And Mr. Guido will agree that in Germany also there is a system that every year the industry person it is mandatory for him to come to the university, and it is mandatory for the university professor to spend at least 2 weeks in the industry. So that type of the sort of relationship is required in India also. So Major General Dr. G.K. Thapalial, he's from Dr. Thapalial, are you here? Dr. Thapalial?
Yeah.
Yes. So he is the Vice Chancellor of the University, Shobhit University, and he is having a vast experience of the medical background and running a large university. So, Dr. Thapalial, how do you visualize that how the students, because in the medical university or medical education in India, it is expert to the Western countries. And I many times say that it is only because there is a resident internship for 1 year. And that type of the internship, many times I have advocated that even for the law graduates, it must be made mandatory. What happens there that the teachers of the law are not allowed to do the practice in the court, and the advocates in the court are not allowed to do the practice, teach the universities. So that type of the sort of relationship, you see that the medical education is one of the wonderful platform, wonderful system. That type of the system we need to develop in every type of the education. So what you visualize that how the industry people can be associated with the Indian universities teaching system. Now I think that the UGC has already announced that we can appoint the industry persons as professor, as visiting professor, as associate professor. That UGC has already made a provision. So this type of the provision we have to open. The university should be open and should associate actively. So what is your opinion about that, Dr. Thapalia?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Garg. I'm indeed grateful and obliged that you invited me for this wonderful session. And my greetings to you all distinguished guest speakers. What is actually, I'm talking about the question you asked me about the medical science, health industry, and the medical education, how that can be interlinked. So before that, yeah, actually, I'd just like to say some background. When we talk about the research is not just done in a one day, or research is not a kind of a thing anybody can do it. It needs a mindset. And you have to develop that mindset, not just at the higher education level. That mindset needs to be developed quite early in the life. And how to develop that mindset of that innovative mindset, I will just tell you, every human being is born with the inquisitive mindset. But in the beginning of the childhood, this mindset, if it is not encouraged, that goes into the background. So if I take the context of new national education policy that says that right from the beginning in the school education, we have to develop the critical mindset and analytical thinking. So that analytical thinking and critical mindset, if it is developed right from the beginning, from the school and the college days, and it goes on to the higher education, then it is easy for the person to actually develop new ideas, to incubate that ideas, and then finally develop some prototype, and that prototype finally needs to be commercialized. So in the process of making, India a 5 trillion economy and making India self-reliant, and to have the concept of that make in India everything, we have to have the research-oriented education. And the research-oriented education, as you have seen the NEP, they have actually put more emphasis on research-oriented education. Research-oriented education was not there earlier, neither it was the employable education. But since there are so many modification advancement have been brought, and one of them first thing is that all educational institutions have to be multidisciplinary. That is the one point which national education policy says. Second point, the national education policy, which they have brought this NRF. NRF is one of the wonderful things, the National Research Foundation. That is one of the best thing will happen, because most of our research works get hampered or they do not see the light of the day because of the lack of the funding. Being in a private university, you must have experienced it. There are students, there are scholars, there are scientists, but the lack of the fund sometimes becomes a great hindrance for them. So lack of fund, I hope with the new education policy, this sort of a shortcomings or this sort of a bottleneck will be taken care of. So we have to encourage our students right from the beginning at the university level to have some idea, and that idea to be encouraged by all professors and all faculty members. And when that idea is encouraged, that definitely gets into a kind of an incubation. And that incubation, that idea to be incubated, and that idea to be incubated means then we develop a kind of a prototype, and that prototype finally product and then it comes for commercialization. So each institution of higher education should have, each department should have an incubation center, incubation ideas, and there should be a group of students where the teacher should be directly coordinating with them, and that all teaching should be innovative, should be research oriented. So these kind of a thing, and coming to the industry interaction and academia, I have got the experience from the COVID-19. The COVID-19, though, has been a disaster and though has been a big setback to humanity, but at the same time, we have learned a lot from the COVID, and those people who had this innovative mindset, they actually came out with so many innovative ideas because we had nothing, no knowledge about the virus. We had no treatment protocol available for the virus. We had nothing. So people came with the innovative ideas. You must have seen the DRDO invented 2-deoxyglucose, and that became a drug which is to be used for during COVID-19, and it became quite popular, though that 2-deoxyglucose was never used for any viral treatment. But since it has the potential of enhancing the oxygenation of the cell, so it was used. That idea was brought into this thing. So it happens. Sometimes disasters also, sometimes natural calamities also actually initiate that mindset of the person to go into the research. So these area, my thing will be in the education, as we have in health education, we have a system of internship. When the student, they finish their education, they go for internship. And that internship actually gives them interaction with the public, which is their clientele later on. And from there, they learn so many things, what kind of diseases are prevalent in the market or in the society, in the vicinity or in the country. And they start learning about how to treat that disease. So it's a kind of like in mechanical or engineering branch, it is the exposure to the industry which will get them what is the requirement of the industry, and as per the requirement of the industry, they will learn skill. Similarly, in education or in the field of health education, as per the requirement of the society, whatever the kind of diseases are prevalent, waterborne diseases, airborne diseases, and other diseases. So these kind of inputs they will receive from the society, and then they start thinking about the only thing that institutions should give proper environment, should proper infrastructure, and everything available for that individual who has got idea. And that idea should not be allowed to die down just like that. So that is the university or all educational institutions should see that, yeah, students coming with the idea should not be relegated, should be honored with the idea, and in that idea should work on it, and any kind of a facility is required, any kind of a funding is required for that idea to become a reality, we must provide that. With that, I thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Thapalial. Thank you very much. Dr. Thapalial has highlighted that the mindset, yes, mindset is very necessary, critical thinking, and the critical mindset necessary, and the multidisciplinary subjects of all the universities. Almost all universities, they are having the multidisciplinary. I would like to add here that the local universities, for example, in Meerut, we are the 5 universities. So let us integrate together. Let us work together. Let us share our resources together, so that the students can get the benefit. And he has very rightly pointed out one very important thing, that every department should have the incubation center. Yes, because every subject is important.
Yeah.
Every subject is important for the society. Every subject is important for the human resources. Every subject is important for the entire national development. So thank you, Dr. Thapalial. Now I would like to request Dr. Abhishek Mathur. He is running a fermentation industry in Telangana, and he's a microbiologist, and they are having a good fermenters, large fermenters, and several biomolecules and the bioproducts. So Dr. Abhishek, what you predict, what you expect from the universities as an industrialist, that what the university should have, what type of the system the university should have in the curriculum, so that the industry and academia gap, what is existing, it can be filled up.
Sir, good evening, sir. First of all, I am very much thankful to you and the organizers for inviting me for such a great and critical area of conversation. So, as an industrialist, as a person of the R&D background, a research background, and technical person, and coming from the academia, I just want to say, say that this collaboration between the industry and academia is definitely a key to catalyze the innovation and growth in the technology. Where the academia is providing the good minds, we are training the students, and me also. Also trained by some good faculties, and I'm definitely thankful to them, so that because those people have made my mind towards the research and the technical aspects. So what is important in the academia, that the faculties are basically giving the good information and knowledge to the students, while the industry is basically taking that knowledge and making the things commercialized. So what we are not understanding, what we are not learning in academia is that we are not going for the commercialization. While industry is basically a platform where the unique and innovative ideas of any candidate or any student or any faculty can be developed and can be utilized in a meaningful manner. For that purpose, different industries are there where they are providing some royalty to also to the commercialized product, whatever the technology they are basically implementing it. And I'm also definitely I'm agreed with your conversation as well, that you have mentioned that the technology you have, or the solutions whatever the faculties and professors are having in the university, that can be taken up further for the solutions of the industry. So, sir, just want to say that when we work in industry, basically the things are very much different. The things are basically very much hard and there is always a curiosity. There is always a tendency to commercialize the things in a meaningful manner. So we cannot perform researches here and there, and we cannot waste the time because the time is precious for the industries, and to make the product and to make the things from lab to land level, so that a common man can be benefited from it. So my point is here is this, that industry is basically utilizing the skillful minds to make the things done in a meaningful manner for the commercialization, so that the product can be commercialized, and the person should be rewarded for the his whatever the research he has done. So I just want to say, sir, that the skilled manpower is basically an asset for the organization, for the industries. So when in academics we used to make the students train about subjects and all the theory classes and all, so we should make the students learn about the technical and the commercial and practical approach. We should make them learn. So nowadays, in the last 2 years, we have already faced the COVID era, where the students were not able to take the classes, and everything was on the online platforms. They were not able to do the practicals as well, and they were not able to do the technical experiments also. So a lot of students coming to us also who are pursuing the dissertation and the project work in our industry, they're also they're lacking the minds, they're lacking that skillful set. So what our organization Pratishta is basically doing, that we are basically making them trained, and whenever the students are coming from industries like yours, so we are basically collaborating with the universities, and we are having the MOUs. So we have I'm very thankful to you, so that we have an MOU with Shobhit University, and Pratishta is providing the facility and the platform for any young researchers also to innovate the technology. We have a pilot plant facility over there where small fermenters and seed fermenters and the big commercial fermenter in the form of 5 kL fermenter capacity, 10 kL fermenter capacity is there, where a student can basically optimize and make his research basically optimize, and the parameters can be optimized, so that he can develop his technology and the technology can be commercialized by us. Even in Pratishtha, the management is providing the facility to the employees to carry out their research. When we are collaborating with the universities, we are basically, when whosoever is interested, basically, we are basically helping them out to guide, enroll their PhDs in universities, and the students can carry out their research. And our organization is basically paying 50% of the tuition fees so that they can work also and they can learn also. So with some points actually, sir, can be done in academia, or the universities, colleges, where some guest lectures can be the thoughts and their technical experiences. Similarly, I'm agreed to my eminent colleagues who has told about that there should be some incubation centers, a common facility where students can perform their experiments and they can perform their work. And similarly, the research parks can also be established where we are in a joint association with the universities, with the academia, where different sophisticated instruments and different application, different problem solving instruments should be there, where the problems can be given to the candidates and they can find a solution there with the presence of people like us. The people can be trained and they can be
Thank you, Dr. Abhishek.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for highlighting the points that the guest lectures from the industry, and now this COVID-19 has given us the wonderful opportunity that a person sitting in the Germany, US, Japan, England, anywhere in the world, you can connect together and you can learn together. That is a wonderful opportunity what COVID has given. And in fact, I say I'm a microbiologist, and I always say that COVID-19 has given us such a wonderful opportunity. Otherwise, Indian universities would not have accepted this online education in the next 10 years. This is the wonderful gift of the COVID-19 to the Indian universities, that we have accepted and practiced in now learning together. So, Professor M.K. Sinha, I will take you after that. And maybe I take Amit Das, also the one of the industrialists. I think Amit Das, are you here? Then I will, Dr. Amit Das, are you there? Okay, no. So, Dr. M.K. Sinha, you are coming from a Himalayan Garhwal University, Uttarakhand, from a hill area, and a relatively wonderful state which is having the wonderful biodiversity, wonderful holy state, and a management. You come from the management background. So I would like to know that as a management, because without management nothing goes. Every industry needs the management, house needs the management, traffic needs everything is with the management. So how do you visualize that the industrial research and the university system can be associated together?
Good afternoon, Professor Garg, and all of the distinguished panelists. This is great opportunity that you have given to me to speak on the issue that industrial research and university, its relevance with management perspective. Being a student of management or economics, I perceive that the win-win situation must be. Whatever the stakeholders we have must have win-win situation. Otherwise, relationship will not carry it forward. So this relationship based on the advantage, based on the outcome for each and every stakeholders. One is that. Second is that we are developing country, and whether the university the institution or the industry, we follow regulation at minimum level. So we have to expect some regulation from the government, as we are following regulation from different regulatory body in the academics, whether it is PCI, BCI, Medical Council of India, Nursing Council, AICT. We are following minimum regulations. We have created all the facilities at our institution or our university desired by the regulators. One is regulator, another those who are quality auditors like NEC, NIRF. All these quality auditors require some parameters, as we know, all of we know that in NEC, university system must have 250 marks for the grading. So all the university is trying to build up the infrastructure which enable us to have research in our campuses. So all these aspects we must take care. So many panelists has pointed out that we must have relationship with the industry and university. I would like to point out, in industry, people are getting just a weekend and they move to Mussoorie, they move to Nainital. They never move to any university or the educational institution to share their experiences among the students, among the faculty members. And we faculty members also do the same thing. Whenever we are getting summer vacation or winter vacation, we go to some holy places or some places of recreation, and we never try to visit to the industry where we are forwarding our output, our students, after getting them requisite training. So all these are the aspects we have to think over. And nothing happens in developing country or the overpopulous country like India in autonomous way. So we must have some pressure from the government, from central government, state government, regulators, or the peers. Just our Honorable Kumar Sekhar sir, he is the chairman of SOCHM education wing, and he has opportunity to bring industry to the academic institution together. Some regulation to be created, as we created regulation that 2% of the profit will be given to the CSR fund. The same way we can create a regulation that one industry has to look into the research departments of certain institutions and certain universities. And university has to be compelled that you have to create an industrial research center mandatorily at your organization, as you are pointing out that whether you have placement department, whether you have examination department or not, whether you have some recreational facility in your institutions or not. So the regulator can create these kind of environment. So the institution will create infrastructure for the industry, and industry will create a space for the academic institution. It will be through the regulation, not through the autonomy. So that's all, sir, from my side, and I hope that I tried my best to answer your question as a student of management.
Thank you, Professor Sinha. You have very rightly pointed out. We have been saying, and many of the vice chancellors have been raising this issue, that in the NEP 2020, when you are saying that the Indian universities should collaborate with the industries, there must be some regulation to the university and to the industry both. And when there will be some regulation, then slowly and slowly, when initially we will have to start with the regulation. And when both will understand each other, when a trust will be developed between the industries and the universities, then this process will go automatically. So that is one very, very important thing what you have pointed out, Professor Sinha. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Mr. Vipendra Singh. Mr. Vipendra Singh, are you there? Mr. Vipendra Singh, he is from the real industry and Kulab educates.
Yes, sir, he is there. He is there.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
good evening, everyone. Very important observations and comments by all the panelists. And I'm also enlightened. I have few quick points to make.
Yes,
If you look at the context of India, 54% of our GDP comes from services sector. Roughly about 26% from manufacturing activities, and the remaining comes from agriculture and allied activities. I think universities need to focus more on services sector. It makes a clear case. We, rather than talking about what kind of work we can do for manufacturing industry, I think if we focus more on services sector and try and preparing the students for the services sector, that would be the first step in the right direction. Number two, not every university cannot deal with all kind of problems coming from different industry sectors. So you need to choose, you need to build that expertise. Every university need to focus on one or two or three domains that it wants to excel in. You cannot be an expert on each and everything. If you look around, in your vicinity, within the 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, you will have manufacturing units, you will have services sector, you will have hospitality, healthcare, insurance, banking, whatnot. Can you solve the problems of all of them? No, obviously not. So therefore, every university need to decide which are those 2, 3, 4 chosen domains where they want to build an expertise. I'm using the word build an expertise. And I am very well aware that currently most Indian universities do not have that expertise. So we might currently be thinking that why industry is not coming to us and why industry is not giving us the problems. Sorry, they know that you don't have the expertise. So first thing is that build that expertise, choose those 2, 3, 4 domains in which you want to build expertise. And how is that going to happen? If 100% of your professors are coming from academic background and none of them is coming from industry background, how are you going to build that expertise? So therefore, the first thing is that the academicians are very, very important. So are practitioners. So therefore, it has to be a very healthy mix of practitioners and academician in your education system, especially our university level education system. Then only you can think of start building an expertise in 1 or 2 or 3 domains. So have those professionals who have worked in that particular domain for last 10, 15, 20 years, include them into your university system at a position and give them this task that now we need to start building the expertise within our system, and then only you can expect the industry to come to you. The previous, I mean, the panelist before me was talking about a win-win situation, and that's where you need to make sure that it has to be win-win for the industry also. If the industry comes to you with their problems to be solved, if they want you to do some research on their problems, before that, you will have to prove that you are worthy of it. And if you are worthy of it, then it makes sense for them to come to you, and it makes that case of win-win situation for everyone. Another thing is that it's a cultural issue. we might, it might be our aspiration to get into a deeper research with the industry. Well, the deeper research is a thing that you will come to that later on. The first thing is that ask your students to start doing some project work, small projects, very small, tiny, a 2-week project, a 4-week project, 6-week project, an 8-week project, while they are still in their classrooms. Within their classroom, every course, and when I say course, every subject, need to have some scope for doing a project in the chosen domain where the student wants to make a career after they graduate. So let them choose those 2, 3, 4 domains. Ask them to start doing those small projects, and that too under the mentorship of the same person that you have hired with industry experience. And only it will become part of your culture. That will start changing the culture of the organization, culture of the university. And one more point for the UGC, Shekhar sir was talking about this whole research internship issue, and he has written this on his LinkedIn page also. And I completely agree with him that it can't be a research in, imagine when you have said in your national higher education qualification framework, when you are saying that every year up to minimum 6 credits have to come from internships or project work or research work, and you are, on the other hand, you are terming it as a research internship. A BA first year student or a BCom first year student or a BSc first year student, is that a student capable of doing a research? What kind of research that first year student can do? So instead of terming it as a research internship, term it as a project based internship. It has to be a project based internship, and most of this work can be done virtually. Ask the students to get into a habit of taking up small 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks projects. Build that culture. Employ people with industry experience. Choose 2, 3, 4 domains in which you want to excel and showcase to the industry that you have the capability of solving their problems. These are some of the suggestions that I had, and that's it from my side. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Green. You have very rightly pointed out that we will have to first showcase our capacity, our qualities, our intelligentsia, our system. Then only the industry will be attracted to us. So that is the one very important thing. And the second point which we have raised, there is project-based learning. This is already included in the NEP 2020, and yes. The project should be of the level of the student. As the level goes higher, the project level should be higher, or keeping in view the capacities of the student, the level of the project can be raised. So now I would like to invite Dr. Vijay Matija. He is the president of the Indian Federation of Animal Health Companies. Dr. Matija, there are certain questions from the audience for you. So you are having a big task. So because you can have a good amount of the time also. The main question is that animal health. The people, they say that man health, animal health, soil health, plant health. These are the important things of the sustainable development. And now during in this era, how the animal health system can be introduced in the education, and which can be made mandatory or a compulsory, or up to what level this should be. So Dr. Matija, what are your ideas that how it can be integrated into the course curriculum?
Okay, thank you. And I'll come straight to the topic because of the paucity of time. So INFA is the Indian Federation of Animal Health Companies. So we are a group of 52 member companies. It's a non-profit organization, and I am presiding this association. And perhaps we are one of the largest animal health association in the world. And globally, we are affiliated with Health for Animals, which is a global animal health association based out of Europe. So our motto is to have healthy animals and healthier India. 2/3 of the diseases which human beings are coming across have some or the other connection with the animals. So it's paramount that animal health should be optimal so that we can have human health secure. Secondly, animal health sector plays a very vital role in arranging the sustainable supply of the food, the safe and nutrition and wholesome food. And we are also contributing to the SDGs number 2, number 3, and many more other SDGs as well. The good health and well-being, and also addressing the hunger. So this is a bit of the role of animal health in ensuring the healthier India. Now coming specific to the topic, we do have a dedicated universities within the veterinary sector. And the best practice, what I can share with all the panelists for your consideration, that many of the universities have developed a research council. So I am also one of the member of those research council, wherein the university research team share the research projects with the industry on a decided date in a particular year. And then this is being shared with us, and also for the future years research, what topics can be considered. The prioritization matrix has been discussed in collaboration with industry. So perhaps your university can also consider involving industry at the very beginning itself for the prioritization of the research topics, or the topics, but previous speaker said, even if the undergraduate students are not going for research, perhaps they can look for project-based internship. So even those project-based internship, the topics can be sought after from the industry, that what industry exactly need. Now coming back to the question which was asked by the Dr. Garg, the role of animal health is becoming prominent, and we do have state-of-the-art manufacturing facility of animal healthcare products. And moreover, many member companies are also multinational companies importing from their parent organization. So our sector is you can say advanced, and also ready to serve the animal health needs of the country. Moreover, there are always areas to further strengthen, one of which is the diagnostic, the real-time diagnostic, the ready-to-use diagnostic, and which can go into nook and corner of the country, so that even the rural population also, there are rapid diagnostic kits available for identification of diseases, and therefore the solution for diseases can be then worked out. So perhaps the engineering institutes can consider some research in the area of diagnostic, which can be made accessible to the rural healthcare, and our industry would be more than happy to further share our needs. Moreover, a couple of more ideas I like to propose is to consider. One is the virtual tour of your facilities or the infrastructure, and the manpower available with the universities, because it may not be possible for all the animal healthcare companies to visit physically at all the universities. Perhaps a virtual tour can be organized, and then kind of a roundtable, even though that can be also organized virtually, to understand the need gap analysis, that what industry need, and perhaps then your team of the faculty plus scholars can look into what areas they can prioritize, and those technology can be transferred to the animal healthcare sector. And lastly, the lab to land program, whatever the lab infrastructure is there, whatever the technologies are upcoming in your institutes, how it can be commercialized for the benefit of the sector. So those issues, if that can be addressed, perhaps it would be a win-win situation for all the stakeholder, like the university, scholars, faculty, and the industry, and ultimately the end customers, right? And in our case, is the animals, and ultimately the human beings. So these are the few inputs from my side, and I'll also post the website address of INFA, which has a lot of rich information about our sector, and perhaps we have a dedicated subcommittee on human resources. So that your team can reach out to our human resources subcommittee chairperson, and will be more than also discuss on the skill development aspect of the industry, and also what capabilities we require for the engineering institutes. So these are a few quick thoughts from my side.
Thank you very much, Dr. Matija. You have very rightly pointed out that when we are allocating the topics of the project to the students, we should ask the topics from the industries. And if we ask the topics from the industries, then it will be a win-win situation for both. And the industry people will be glad to associate with us. This is the wonderful idea what we are giving, and the virtual interaction and the virtual tour. Yes, this can be arranged, and this should be arranged, and this can help the help and promote and facilitate the interaction between the industries and the education. Now, I would like to request Professor Jayanand. Professor Jayanand. Professor Jayanand. I think that he has been busy with the internal system of the university. That is, it was a wonderful session. So now I let me make some quick points what have been raised in this session. The quick points they are almost the same what have been raised in the first session, that the industries and the universities should interact together, should sit together, should share their resources together, and the project should be drawn from the industries, and the win-win situation can arise, the virtual tour can be made, and the internship should be made at least for 1 year in those courses where the 4-year degree courses have been, and the experts from the industries in the board of studies and the academic bodies should be included, and there should be some regulation at the regulatory level so that the industries and universities both should work together, both should sit together, and it should be made mandatory. Then only it will be feasible. And the one very important suggestion was that the PhD problems, whatever the PhD topics and the research has come, it should be put on the website of the university, and it should be made available for the introduction to the university and the publications. But we are making the large number of the publications in the many of the journals, many times the predatory journals. That practice should be stopped, and we should find out that what is the social impact of the research what we are making. Instead of the scientific research impact, we should focus on the social impact, and the understanding and adaptability of the system of the industry and the university should be promoted and facilitated. The critical mindset and the critical analysis, that should also be promoted, and the NRF, it has been founded. Yes, Professor Jayanand, you have joined. Welcome. All the panelists, they have almost discussed now. I would like to have your quick response, because you are having a vast experience of the several universities and the industries and the medical background and the non-medical background and this and that, and interacting with a large number of the students also and their problems also. So what are your quick comments that what the universities and the industries should do together to have a win-win situation and to rightly enforce in the NEP 2020, and so that the things can move further and very good.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me for the quick review. As per my information and my knowledge, research and innovation comes from different kind of aspects. It may come from the situation, like this time we had this very different kind of situation in COVID pandemic, and it created some kind of innovation. That is one thing. Second, the problem-based innovation that conveys by the industry, the need of industry, and we work for the solving the problem of industry. So that is also a kind of innovation. University plays a very key role in research and innovation, whether it is situational or the industry-based. Now, it is very true, as our Honorable Chancellor said, that it is not possible 100% that industrial research can be done in the academic system. Very true. But basic research as well as application-based research we are making. And then after, it will be implemented for the industry, in R&D section of the industry. In medical side also, we do the preclinical analysis, preclinical tests and research, and then after clinical research goes to the hospitals. My number of students are working because of this pandemic situation and COVID situation. They are working for the miniaturization of defibrillator, because we have seen the scarcity of defibrillator, and number of my students who have trained with, by our own institution, Shobhit University, they are working in Germany and other European country, and they are making the miniaturization of number of ICU medical equipments. My idea to implement the research in the academics, we have to have certain modification in the syllabus, in all the subject syllabus. Like if we have 5 units of particular subject, at least 1 unit should be the research oriented. Then after we can say that the NEP is going to be implemented in academics. In NEP, we know that they have implemented 4 years graduation in basic sciences also, and 4th year is the research one. So rather to have the only 4th year research, we should have every subject 1 unit, because research is based on the subject basis. Like if it is related to the robotics, then robotics subject should be having 1 unit of research. So it is my suggestion that at least, whether it is the UG syllabus, whether it is the PG syllabus, every subject should have 1 unit research base. Then we can translate the exact idea of the NEP 2020 in the academics. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Gyanan. Thank you very much. Mr. Amit Das, are you there? Would you like to speak? Mr. Amit Das. So very quick points. Mr. Guido, would you like to make some point after the panel discussion?
I have to accuse Mr. Amit Das. He's in talks with a new customer.
Yeah, okay. No, it's fine.
It was very interesting for me as a German staying in Germany, but still looking into the educational system. What I found out in this session is the difference between the German system and the Indian system. It's systematically. When you are talking, let's say, start this. In Germany, we have around 15% of the young people going to universities or colleges, 15%. The rest of the young people going to internships. Internships means specialized on topics, medicine, servicing, business management, whatever. And this is organized, and you have to make an exam after 3 or 4 years. Then you are really prepared for the industry, not when you're coming from the school or whatever. They get some payment, of course, in this time. After 3 years, you can hire them immediately, and after 1 month, he can start working fully, totally. For the industry, the best employee. The students want to go to the universities and colleges. These people in Germany, they really love to educate. They love to research and developing. They love to come together in the university. They love to join ideas daily, research, develop, whatever. And these people, industry knows, these are the next generation of technology minds. And then they are connected also, very early stage, because they know these people in these kind of departments, they are really researchers. They can help us for the next stage to achieve. again, the 80% of the internships, they're running the German economy, because in servicing, in hospitals, whatever, we do not need researchers. 80% are workers, good qualified workers, but ready to get in the industry from the first beginning. And this is different in India. Even in my company, I have to train my employees day by day with, sorry to say, with so fundamental basics they do not understand. So it's tough. It's a long way, but again, maybe this should be in your mind that not every student will be a researcher. And India is more, from the developing, a service country and not a development country, a researcher company, this way.
Yes, Vito, you have rightly pointed out that in the very beginning, it is our responsibility that we have to sort out that which of the student is worth for the service industry, which of the student is worth for the research industry, which is the so that as per the interests and as per the qualities of the student, that a particular type of the student should be promoted and facilitated for that particular, and that should be groomed. That is the one thing. Actually, you know that in India, what is the thing that everybody wants to go at the top, whether he or she is competent or not.
Yeah.
They all dream that I should sit at this position, this position. Everybody wants to become the doctor. Everybody wants to become a IAS. Everybody wants to become a top engineer. They don't visualize because there is a lot of gap in the earnings of the at lower level and higher level. But in Germany or in the Europe, you will find that there is a narrow gap between the basic, between a labor and a highest paid person. There is a lesser gap. So there the competition is not high. I know that the son of my professor Müller, he was dreaming to become a police officer only.
Mm-hmm.
So when I interacted with him, I said that why you want to become a police officer? You are just a policeman, not a police officer. You are a son of. Oh, no. He said this is my interest. That's all. Finish. I will earn enough, and that will be enough for me. It's because the level so the society is different. In Europe, there is a system that every student can go to any of the industry, to the different country. When some of my friends from Germany, they came to India for the internship in medical. But I was in CCS University in medical microbiology department. So some of the students who were my colleagues over there, they came. So because they are so much, so the system, that type of the system we need to build. We need to emphasize that type of the education. Especially one of the panelists has said that we have to first specialize and build up our capacities, and then only the industries will attract to us. That is Professor Pandey, is your quick response, quick points.
It was a wonderful interaction, and I think a lot of suggestions have already come from the panelists that especially the industry where students are trying to go or recommended to join the industry for internship. I think that is one basic thing. But at the graduation level, those students who are interested in research, they should be motivated to go to the industry in which they are interested. Some may be interested in healthcare, some may be interested in agriculture, some may be interested in pharma industry. There are so many options available to these students. So it was wonderful interaction, and I think many suggestions which have come from different panelists that is going to help in developing note for further discussion. And of course, one more thing is there, that is Now UGC has given the opportunity for dual degree program.
Yes.
So those students who are in the regular stream, they can also in the evening or online courses, they can participate and get degree, especially when skill is concerned. Many students, they want to earn. So I think one program, earn while you learn.
Yes.
That needs to be introduced for the students, because many students may not be in a position to support. So why not, if the universities or even industries where they are going, definitely in industry they get some stipend. But as far as universities are concerned, I think they may be provided some opportunity. Thank you.
Dr. Abhishek, would you like to make one quick comment? Or Dr. Sinha, are you there? One quick comment. Dr. Tarun, if you are here, if anybody wants to make a quick comment, then still we are having 5 minutes, and we can have the quick comments. But the session was wonderful. Yes, Mr. Virendra.
One more point, I think, while all these policies under national education policy, they are good. In our higher education system, there is the number of enrollments that we have currently are 3.5 crores. And if the new higher education qualification framework says that every year, every student has to do one internship, that means that every year we would require 3.5 crore internships. From where these right now the internships are limited to rather professional programs, BTech, MBA, BBA, BCA, MCA, etc., where the enrollment number is roughly 60 lakh. Now, from 60 lakh to now, even to cater to that 60 lakh candidates, it is hell of a task for a university to arrange those many internship opportunities. Once we make it compulsory that 6 credits have to come from internship every year for every student, that means 3.5 crore new internships every year have to be generated. Right now, universities and colleges are struggling to get internship opportunities and project work opportunities for their students. Even though the number is as small as 60 lakhs, tomorrow when it becomes 3.5 crore, how are they going to cope up with it? So,
Mr. Virendra, you have very rightly pointed out the question. This is the right thing. Actually, this is the thing which we wanted from this panel, that the NEP 2020 has been introduced, guidelines have been framed for the universities, and we have been asked that in every course you have to introduce the internship, and very right. From where we will bring such a large number of the internship, and each course does not require it. 100% true. This will be the one of the very important suggestion and the recommendation from this platform, that every as Mr. Guido has also pointed out, that we have to focus that what type of the student need, which type of the internship, which type of the skill training, which type of the system. So that is, leave it to the universities. Don't force, don't compel that you do it. We have to give us the liberty. Let us decide as per the competence of the student, as per the requirement of the student, as per the availability of the resources. Otherwise, then the fate, as you know, that the as Professor Arun has pointed out, that the predatory journal, from where they came, because the UGC made it mandatory that there is the API, and you have to make this much percentage number of the system, number of the research papers. And those who cannot, or who could not, or who do not have the basic infrastructure, then they were compelled to do it. So when you have made that the 6 credit of the internship is mandatory and the compulsory, and in every course of the study, this is something, yes, ridiculous. I do agree, Mr. Vipin. Very nice, and thank you very much for pointing out. this thing. So, Doctor.
And sir, it is only that right now your GER is only 27%. Government wants to make it 50%. 50% GER means that more than 6 crore student every year would require internship opportunities.
But what will happen then? You are saying that by 2035 we want this much of the 50% GR. Then what will happen? So these are the things which we need to point out. This is the right thing, and this is the Shobhit University which is able to emphasize, and we will be able to keep it, and we will be able to point it out that this is the unrealistic story which has been planted in the NEP 2020, and make it realistic, so that the fake things or the some wrong things should not promote in the higher education. Dr. Matija, I think you want to make some point?
Yeah, just last point. The deliberations of today, perhaps if you are coming up with a document, would appreciate if you can circulate to us as well, so that
we will circulate. And I hope that we will continue to have such type of the discussions in future also. And we will join. We will ask many more industries to join, many more academic experts. Today also, you know that today also we were having the 6 more vice chancellors to join with us. But you know that the Honorable Governor and the Chancellor of the UP State Universities, she is already coming today in the Muzaffarnagar and the area. So these vice chancellors, they became busy with the visit of the Honorable Chancellor. That is why. But wonderful. I congratulate you all that for the 2 hours in the morning session and 2 hours in the afternoon session, we have been able to successfully conduct this wonderful recommendations of the panel. And it was a nice that everybody shared their views frankly and openly. And some good recommendations, and these recommendations I will share with you all, and we will also share these recommendations with the SOCHAM tomorrow when we are meeting with the Honorable Chancellor and the Governor. Professor Jayanan, you want to make something, point out anything? Professor Jayanan? No, so fine. If anybody else wants to point out, Honorable Chancellor, sir, are you here? Shekhar sir, I think that he's busy because he's busy in the tomorrow's organization of the program, which is a great program. Dr. Tarun, Dr. Sinha, are you there? Dr. Sinha, any point? If somebody wants to make a comment, then you can send on my mail also. Dr. Ashok.
Professor Garg, I just want to make one point, if you allow me.
Yes, Mathur. Yes, please.
Yeah, because we always, we have meetings, we have deliberations, so somewhere we have to start. So I would like to say that in case I can be of any help, I would like to offer the services to the university and for the interactions with the students as well as the faculty. So anytime if you feel like, I am available. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur. Thank you very much. The university, Mr. Vijay Matija is here already, our placement officer and the training placement officer, and who is looking after the research program also. Dr. Ashok, he's with us, and I myself will be.
I have noted down, and I am thankful to.
Do you want to comment about the panel discussion and some recommendations or something like that, Dr. Bhatia?
Yes, sir.
Yes, do you want to make one quick comment? Still we are
since we know that the policy is coming up, we know that we would be involved into it, but I'll take the pleasure of congratulating the organizing group, saying that you were the first to initiate it, and for the betterment of the students and for the betterment of the entire education policy. So congratulations to all of you. I think such endeavors should continue.
Thanks to because you know that many times what happens that many times when I was interacting with many of the vice chancellors, they were saying that the industries do not want to come out with us, they do not want to come. And now today I've seen that the number of the industrialists are more than the number of these academicians on this platform today.
Right, sir. Yes.
This is my vice chancellors. So you have outnumbered the academicians. So the question is that somebody has to take the lead. Somebody
Yes.
has to come forward. We have to start the dialogue. We have to interact, and we have to come out of the hesitation. So thank you very much. It was a nice to have you on this platform. A very good interaction, and I will share the recommendations and the points that have been framed and subject to the changes, modification, addition, deletions. The final recommendations will be submitted only once I share with you and you once approve to me. So maybe that by night today or by tomorrow in the morning, by tomorrow morning you will be getting the mail from my side, and then some points. But I have prepared. Dr. Ashok has also prepared. Dr. Tarun has prepared. Several people from the university they are watching and they are noting down, because it is not possible for one person to write and get the collection of each and every point. So thank you very much for joining with us, and hope that in future also we will continue and continue to interact.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Professor Garg, for wonderful program and panel discussion.
This is all because of you all.
Enlightened us of the many aspects related to the student and the industry and what should be done in future as far as universities are concerned.
Thank you very much,
well
sir.
done.
Now each of us have been connected. We all have got the email IDs and the connection telephone numbers for everyone, so we can all interact together and hope have a good time. Stay healthy, stay safe, and work together. Wonderful. Thank you very much once again. So let us.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.